Okay, so hello everyone. This is the Seneca Investment Club of the Seneca Student Federation. And today I'm here with our guest, Roel. He is the manager of the member services. So welcome, Roel. We're happy to have you here, as well as we do have our president, Udhav. Today we were going to start by we have a set of questions, but we're going to be a little bit out of it in the start, just to make you feel more comfortable and all that. So we wanted to know a little bit better. How was your journey until you actually get to Canada? What did you study in the past? So our viewers can actually understand and relate a bit more to yourself.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Rodrigo and Udhav, for having me. It's a pleasure. My name is Roel. I've been in Canada since 2006, actually. I was an international student, started in Vancouver, Capilano University for a year, and then moved to Toronto with my sister and her partner at that time. And studied at the Liberal Studies Articulation Program at Seneca at Newnham campus from 2007 to 2009. Prior to that, I completed my studies in Athens in Greece and in computer engineering.
Okay.
Before I came here, yeah.
So how old were you when you originally moved to Canada?
21.
21?
Yeah, 21. 21 and a half, almost 22 actually.
Okay, amazing. And what specifically made you choose Canada over the US? Of course, we know it's much better.
But back then,
yes, it was easier, yeah. But also my sister was here, right? So that was a support rather than going somewhere alone. It's a great support when you have somebody in Canada or anywhere you go, actually, rather than going by yourself.
Okay.
So what were some of the defining moments during your student time which shaped your career path as a member services manager in SSF?
On my second year at Seneca, the first year I was lost. Like really didn't know anything. I would come to school, finish my classes, then directly go home, right? When you come from smaller countries, Seneca alone having 20,000 students, it's a massive community, right? I remember my first day at Seneca, I was lost. Like it was an orientation day with thousands and thousands of students. And then when I come from Albania, like the city alone doesn't have as many students as Seneca, right? The population it's not the same. So the second year, I kind of got introduced to the SSF and I got involved. And I was lucky because they were looking for an international student to fill in the role of the international student coordinator. So I was the first coordinator for international students, the liaison between the Seneca Student Federation and the international department at Seneca. And then as I volunteered, because it was a volunteer basis, it was based on honorarium, it wasn't paid. It was a great year for me, got a lot of leadership experience, exposure. And one thing led to another, a position opened up, I applied for it, I was lucky.
That's good.
Here I am.
Okay.
It's good.
That's amazing. So since you do have a lot of experience, not only with SSF, but also with Seneca, our next question would be, is there any service overall, including SSF and Seneca, that you wish students would be more aware of? Of course, besides club, because we know you would love if more students come to our clubs. But besides that, is there any other service, even if it is a new service, that you would enjoy that students know more about?
Well, I'll speak for the SSF first. We have a lot of, there's 12, 13 services that we offer to our students, right? For the most part, if you remove the default ones, like the health and dental, like if you know about it, people use it. It's our most used service by default because every domestic student is part of it. Then you have the shuttle bus that is being utilized by a lot of students. The one service that I would hope there's more information about it, or students know more and utilize it more, will be the student development grant, which is a service that provides students with funding for any activity, event, or conference that they want to attend. That's based on their academics, and they'll gain something out of it. It can be a professional conference, it can be something related to their field. But also when it comes to Seneca overall, I think students should be taking advantage more of the career services that they have. They can helping with the resumes, writing skills, the tutoring centers, all those services. Yes, they're there. They are being utilized. I just hope that students know about it a bit more and utilize them more.
Okay.
Especially nowadays that, finding a job, it's become a bit hard. And that resume, and then there's services that help you prepare you how to do interviews, right?
Okay.
These services, I think, are crucial for students to utilize and know more about them.
Okay, makes a lot of sense.
So I would also like to know more about the student development grant. How much is the maximum a student can get? Is there a budget per semester for SSF?
Yes, we do. We do set a budget every semester, and that budget changes every semester based on usage, right? If you ask me what the budget was, 5-6 years ago, I would say it was, up to $10,000 a year or $50,000 a year.
Yes.
And it wasn't really used, right? Because the service wasn't really advertised as much. Now that the service is being more advertised, more students are being aware of it, more students are using it. We had close to 400 applications alone last year. Now, not every application qualifies, but unfortunately, not all of them will fall in the policy, which it's a policy that we keep changing every year to make sure that we're helping as many students as possible. But the budget right now, we had increased it to $25,000 or $30,000, and I think we're reaching that budget very soon. So we might have to go back and ask for more. Heaps. At the end of the day, this is money that we're spending for our students and for their development. You asked me how much do we approve? Every application is different, right? You can get an application for a $50 budget.
Yes.
An expense of $50. You can get an application for an expense of $5,000, right? Every single application is presented to a committee, which consists of the president, the VPs, and a couple of full-timers. We look at every single aspect of the application. We look at how beneficial will that be for a student. The students write their own part of the story. We do our due diligence. We check the conference. If it's a conference, we check the registration fees, and then we present that to the committee, and then the committee makes a decision. We don't have a policy that has a maximum, because we want to make sure that we treat every single application fair.
Nice. Okay, makes sense. Cool.
And everyone next.
Yeah. So in terms of that, so you explained the process, but if a student wants to apply for that, for how long should they expect to wait to get a response?
Well, we do ask students to apply at least 4 weeks in advance of their event or their conference, right? Again, as I explained earlier, the committee consists of our VPs and the president. The VPs are full-time students as well, right? Okay. They have limited hours, how many hours. Technically, when a request comes to online, when a student applies online, within a day, I've opened the request. I've done my research. I work with another full-timer. She helps me. Brenda helps as well with that. So if we need to contact the professor to find out more about that, if it's a class related or it's academic related. So from our end, we'll open that request within 24 hours, right? But depending how much back and forth we have to do with the student, asking for more information, that's why we ask for that 4 weeks. Once the email goes out to the committee, given within 1 or 2 business days, the committee has a reply to that.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep. As you previously mentioned that you manage a lot of services from Shuttle Bus, from member services, the student development grant. How do you manage your time?
Well, I do have a lot of staff to help me. So you being two of them, and the department that needs the most help, it is clubs, right? Because we haven't mentioned clubs of the significance of that, but priorities, right? So I kind of plan by semester. I know what needs a bit more focus and what time of the year, right? So you have elections, because I help with the elections. That will take a chunk of the time. So you know that during those elections, that period that the election is coming for the council, I won't have a lot of time to dedicate to the other service. So I make sure I do anything that needs to be done for those services in advance, right? So you just plan accordingly. And once you do this for many, many, many years now, you kind of know what to expect and when to expect it, right? You don't anticipate huge surprises. But if anything happens, then we do have a free of full-timers that can jump in and assist me if there's anything that I need.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, jumping more deep into that, how would you say you would plan for a day? So you basically are mostly aware of what's going to happen, because we do know that SSF has a lot of calendars available on their websites and all that. But in a day-to-day base, it's kind of whatever comes in your way, you try to solve it, or you actually know what's coming up and you pre-plan how your day is going to be.
Well, I prioritize my tasks based on importance, right? So the first thing I'm going to do in the morning, I'm going to have to check the health and dental service.
Okay.
Right? It's a topic that a lot of students might need assistance right away. Right? Oh, I'm at the pharmacist. My student benefit card is not working. Or I'm at the dentist. They're saying my plan is not active. So anything related with the health and dental, I'll prioritize first thing in the morning. At the same time, I'm looking at the shuttle bus service too. If classes being delayed in the morning, which means that you might be missing your 8 a.m. classes.
Okay.
So we communicate with the shuttle bus company to find out what happened, right? So those two will be the priority in the morning. Then you go, the rest of the list that you have. If anything that it was left from the day before, or that that's going to come up, you start preparing for that as well. But again, the priority will be helping the students first thing in the morning with the health and dental and any other inquiries that might need immediate assistance.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like a lot of things would lead us to our next question. So have you ever burned out, or how do you deal with stress? And even as a student, do you still do something that you used to do in the past that helps you to follow along well in the day?
You do burn out. I can tell you that much. As much as you want to start fresh, especially it was the long weekend. Tuesday comes in and it's almost 2:00, right? Actually, it's almost 4:00.
It's almost 4:00. Yeah, it's a bit more.
I have a lot of things in my mind that I wasn't able to finish today. I mean, it was one thing.
Because we made you stop for a podcast, probably.
Being the long weekend, right? A lot of things that are accumulated. But you burn out, but you just have to make sure that you kind of put some time aside for yourself, right? Self-care is the most important thing. I know it's easy to say, but then you gotta have to make sure you switch. You press that switch after work. Is that I say, this is my time right now. I'm just gonna try to focus. So
okay. And I just have one more question in regards to that, because I feel like we are in a period of human evolution that people are constantly working all the time because they have their phones with them. And I'm guessing, not assuming, but I'm guessing you saw the other way around in the past, right? Like how it was without the phones. So how would you say, because especially I'd say that a lot of students are entering the job market nowadays, but you are someone who works with people who work online and in person as well. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with their availability as well and separate those timings?
Well, you asked me if I saw the other side. Yes, I did. There was a time that, after 5:00, you go home. You really don't know what has happened, right?
Okay, yeah. You have no idea.
Okay. I grew up in an era where email didn't exist. I'm not that old, but...
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
But it is right now, everybody has access to technology. It's been more than 20 years that everybody has way faster access to technology. And we've seen that as well with our students. Since the pandemic, we moved a lot of our customer service online on our website through the chats. Right?
Okay.
And we went through having lineups of students every day coming out to our office and asking about the health and dental, the shuttle bus, the upcoming events, clubs. Right now, a lot of them, it's easier just to go on the chat and say, hey, is the shuttle bus date? Or when am I expecting to get the refund check for the health and dental?
Okay.
So that creates a faster communication for sure. It gives you way more information in your hands, faster information, but also we spoke about you go home and you don't work. But we know that 3 of us were communicating almost until midnight last night about private requests, right? It is the reality.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not working. You're not supposed to be working at that time either, right? But then I'm the type of person that if my phone sends a notification, I'm going to see it. So I only knew before I stepped in the office today how many emails I had to deal with in the morning that required immediate assistance, health and dental, the shuttle bus, and the clubs, right? It's not necessarily a good thing, don't get me wrong, because now I took away from my personal time. I don't get paid, but it's not only the monetary part. It's you're constantly, as you said, you're working more right now that you have the technology, right? So, and I think students have way more access to information than we used to have, right?
Yes, clear. That's true. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, moving forward, can you give us some of the insights on how SSF prioritize their budget? Like, how do you prioritize this service should get the maximum budget? Maybe this service should get the minimum budget. What are some aspects that you see when you're deciding, or the board of directors decide the budget?
Well, I mean, the question is, the answer could be very simple, right? So once you get the budget, which again, we're non-for-profit, so anything that we collect from our students, we have to make sure we give it back to them one way or the other. Services, activities, and everything that we offer for our students, right? So our executive director with the finance team and the board, they do have their subcommittees, and they look at what gets collected and how it gets distributed, right? And the first thing we do is we want to make sure that we call the services central services, something that we offer at all the campuses, right, for all our students. So we want to make sure that we have all the resources needed there, right, for the shuttle bus, for the health and dental, student development grant, clubs, everything that we do. Basically, we have to make sure that there is a budget allocation And when we look at the budget allocation, we look at the previous years, what have we spent, right? Before we do the allocation of the budget, there are meetings after meetings saying, okay, well, a good example would be clubs used to have a $50,000 budget last year. Well, after meeting and proving to the board that clubs now have increased, we were able to increase the budget $200,000 this year, right? Mm-hmm. Now, at the end of this year, we're gonna evaluate that and we're gonna say, okay, so we had a $200,000 budget. How much of that was spent for clubs? If it comes that we spend all the entire $200,000, then are we going to be able to allow more money to come into that service?
Yeah.
Or should we say this is how much we have? Okay. On the other hand, if we see that we only spent $50,000 of that budget, then we're going to have to look at how the planning for next year is going to happen. Instead of allocating another 200, we say maybe let's bring it out to 150 because we really didn't need it as much. So there's not a definite answer to that. We look at the services, and I mentioned earlier the student development grant used to be $10,000. Now it's at $30,000. So if we see that there is a need, we always move the money around if we can, and if the budget allows to ensure that the services receive the support that they need.
Is there a way a student can be a part of this decision-making body? Like, I know the board of directors are sitting to help you guys with this.
But the meetings are open. When budget meetings are presented or the budget is presented to the board, students are allowed to attend. This is public information.
You guys do a vote, or do they have a say? Like, how does the process?
Students don't have a vote in that.
Yes.
The board has a vote, but students can put questions in. But also when we do the financial audits and the financial statements every year at the AGM, students do get the vote back as well. Right? So every single board meeting, it's announced in advance. So students can actually participate in person or online. It's up to them how they want to do it. Students can also participate in council or central meetings as well. So the information is there. We make all this information public. We publish every single statement that we have as well on our website. The fees are public, so there's nothing there. If a student has a question or if the students want to have an input, we always welcome them to see it.
Or they can just stand for elections as well. To be in
that's the right. They can stand now. The nomination has closed, but we do have elections every year, and we have by-elections every year as well, depending on how many vacancies we have.
That's the thing.
That's nice. Yeah. So that kind of leads us to the next question regarding budgeting. So did you have to ever make any hard decisions on budget, or that was given to you, or either try to pitch it to the board? And since I didn't receive any don'ts, I'm going to update this question a little bit. Mm-hmm. So as the current situation overall academically, say in Canada, it's not in their best days with not getting as many students as we used to get in Seneca. And knowing that SSF does receive a lot of its resources from Seneca.
Well, what? The resort.
Yeah. So doesn't it receive it from alumni as well? A little bit? No? Everything is from Seneca? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. So that leads me to my actual question. So how do you think this is going to impact SSF? And are you already having to make those hard decisions, if you can share any with us?
Well, I can't share the entire plan because it hasn't been finalized, right? So we're anticipating. We go based on the projection of enrollment that the college provides us, right? So every year, the college, the executive committee of the college, they come back. Only technically of Seneca. Okay, they come back and say, hey, the projection for next semester or next year will be this many students at this many programs, right?
Okay.
And we all know what's happening the past year or so. So we've known that the enrollment has dropped significantly. At this point, I believe we're close to the numbers that we used to be before pandemic.
Okay.
26,000 students.
Yeah.
I don't know what the projection will be, but if the government continues saying that it will be, a reduction of 35% next year, you can imagine what that number can do. So if we are going to lose 35% of our students, then we anticipate to lose 35% of
that budget as well.
Of the budget.
Yeah. Right? Okay. But again, this 35% was based on the cap for international students, right? But if let's say we're at 25,000 students now and we're going to be at 23,000 students, that means we're losing money for 2,000 students. So the fees that would have collected from those 2,000 students are not going to be collected. Well, in that case, what we do, we have to scale down, right? You know that when we receive the budget, the fees from the SSF, there is the admin fee, there's a membership fee, and there's a build fee.
Okay.
Right. So the membership fee determines how much money would we have to pay all the events and activities for the students. And if we're not going to collect as much money as we collected this year, then we'll have to work with the money that we collected and scale down to make sure that we're offering the service to our students. So when we talk about activities, events, the fun stuff that students see, portion of that money also goes to the administration, which is the service.
Certainly.
I think SSF, and I know that the board will make the right decision, is not to jeopardize any of the services.
Okay.
Because we understand the importance of them to the students. Now, again, we cannot project what's going to happen. Let's hope for the best. But again, we're waiting to see what that projection will be. Because the projection versus enrollment is not always the same, right? And I'm going to try my best within that one day to see if I can make things a little bit better. That's
okay.
We all know the struggles with. I know they're working on a plan, but I don't think it's the best plan they put out there, especially for international students.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today.
Of course, it was a pleasure
having you.
Thank you for having me.